Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Punantu Ma Deva Janaha, Punantu Manasadiyaha, Punantu Vishna Bhutani, Yataveda Pulihima, Om Ashyakarmala Punyaham Bhrivantu, Om Punyaham, Om Yateva Sakune Sama Gayasi, Brahmaputra Eva Savanesu Samsi, Vrisheva Vajisishu Matir Apitya, Sarvato Nasakune Bhadramavada, Vishvato Nasakune Bhadramavada, Om Ashyakarmana Swasti Bhavantu Bhavantu, Ayushmate Swasti, Om Swasti, Om Swasti, Om Swasti, Om Swasti Narendra Vidyashrava, Swasti na Puta Vishwaveda, Swasti no Saksho Varishthanimihi, Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatu, Om Ashyakarmana Riddhim Bhavantu Bhavantu, Om Riddhyatam, Om Riddhyatam, Om Riddhyatam,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Sarvayama Vajimano
Hare
Saradeho Payatam, Yasram Manugoshvantara Putam Ashvina Kamamatra, Om Swastino Govindaha, Swastino Achyuta Ananta, Swastino Vasudeva Vishnu Dhadatu, Swastino Narayano Naruvai, Swastino Padmanabha Purusattama Dadatu, Swastino Vishwaksheno Vishveshwaraha, Swastino Rishikesu Hare Dadatu, Swastino Sainateyo Hare, Swastino Adhyanatu Bhagavato Dadatu, Swasti Swasti Sumangai Kesha Mahan, Shri Krishna Satchidananda Sarvesvarendra Dadatu, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, गोविंदय प्रयोच गोविंदनवकाय फलभाय तद्यं भौतिक स्वाहाय फट हिंदवराय धामृतुरय परमेश्वर पुरुष एवेच्छं सर्वं यद्भूतै यच्च भव्यम् उतामृतत्वस्येष्वानः यदन्नेन तिरोहते ॐ एतावानस्य महिमा अतो ध्यायायं च पुरुषः आरण्यानि गम्यश्चये ॐ तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वभूतः ऋचः सामानि जग्निरे छन्दागंसि जग्निरे तस्मात् ॐ चन्द्रमा मानसो जातः चक्षुषुर् ॐ चन्द्रमा मानसो जातः चक्षुषुर्जायत सर्वाणि रूपाणि विचित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वा ॐ आता पुरस्ताद्यमुदच्यमार प्रविद्वान् प्रतिसंसदस्वः तमेवं विश्वम् आमृतैः भवति नान्या पन्थायनाय विद्यते ॐ यज्ञेन यज्ञामयजन्त देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् ते हनाकं महिमानः सुतन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साद्यासन्ति देवाः ॐ शान्ति 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 कीर्तन कीर्तन
Krishna Krishna Hare
Place it right. వాళ్ళకి కొంచెం ఇటు తిప్పండి ముగ్గురికి. చిన్నది తీసుకో చిన్నది తీసుకో చిన్నది తీసుకో దాని తర్వాత
చిన్న కప్పు కావాలి
Right tender coconut has pink water. Hari Hari Bol.
Sri Divine Grace, Sri Boris Haranarayan, Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Sri Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Gandhi Ki Foundation, Divine Grace, Sri Prabhupada Ki, Namaskariya, Sri Haridas Thakur Ki, Prince Gahosi, Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Rasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Radha Krishna, Gopa Gopinath, Samakunda, Radha Kunda, Giri Govardhana Ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki, Shri Dwarka Dham Ki, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Shri Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki, Shri Mayapur Chandra Mandir Ki, Gangamai Himalmai Ki, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki, Jai Sisi Gaurika Ki, Jai Sisi Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Ki, Jai Sri Krishna Balaram Ki, Jai Sri Govardhana Ki, Jai Sri Radha Madhava Ki, Jai Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamotsav Ki, Jai Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamotsav Ki, Jai Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamotsav Ki, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande,
Hari Hari Bol.
all glory to the Son of the Lord,
Hare Krishna.
all glory to the Son of the Lord,
Hare Krishna.
all glory to the Son of the Lord. Namaste. all glories to see Guru and to see Gauranga, all glories to see Prabhupada.
जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
Namaste Narasimhaya.
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय।
Namaste Narasimhaya.
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय। घंटी मार दो उसको, पास में घंटी मार दो उसको।
प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
They will take approximately half an hour or something, so during this time we can try to speak something and remember the importance and significance of Janmashtami. Om Janmashtami Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadvitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Syam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Talubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patijanam Pavanebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
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 Om Sarabhya So we all know how the the event of Janmashtami, of course, is one of the most important festivals for the devotees all over the world, and especially in Vrindavan, uh, and in all of our larger temples especially, it is celebrated. Um, Devotees actually prepare many weeks ahead to, in so many different ways, to commemorate this event of the appearance of the Lord. And for us who are here in Sri Mayapur and trying to develop this particular project, um, the appearance of the Lord and its significance is in many ways of special importance in that Krishna's appearance in Vrindavan, in the small village of Vrindavan, not only does it have a spiritual significance and importance, which is generally what um, most devotees think about, of course. Uh, the Lord is very kind. He appears uh, to give us rather this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, um, to give us the process by which we can bring an end to the suffering that everyone experiences in the material world. So, in addition to the spiritual aspect, uh, the spiritual knowledge that Krishna gives, of course, right? Especially in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna also uh, teaches us directly and gives us very important insights which are very much uh, lacking in modern day society, isn't it? Uh, we, um, those who are having some little understanding about Varnashrama, Varnashrama Dharma, actually in many ways Krishna comes to teach us about Varnashrama Dharma. And in many ways it is, sometimes things that are very simple, they are so simple that they uh, are not understood. Just like the life in village, which is actually what Krishna has very uh, expertly demonstrated by his pastimes in Vrindavan. uh, is not, especially in modern day society, is not at all understood, not uh, not appreciated, largely because people are lacking in some of the basic fundamental uh, spiritual knowledge. Uh, in terms of who we are and what the goal and purpose of life is. And in many ways, Prabhupada would explain that this is like um, the root cause of modern day uh, problem, the root cause of our disease, actually, all the time in the material world, and more so in modern day society, is not understanding what is the goal and purpose of life, uh, not understanding who we are, and therefore, unless we have some basic understanding of that, we will not so easily be able to appreciate or to understand the simple life that people in villages are meant to actually live. Learning to be satisfied with the minimum necessities of life. That is only possible when we have a higher goal and purpose of life, which is, of course, to become self-realized. So, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Samstapanarthaya, that is one of the purposes why the Lord appears or descends in the material world, either directly as Krishna himself or through different avatars or incarnations. Our whole life is meant to be centered on these principles of Dharma. And Dharma is, it's amazing how even in a place like India, not so many people understand what is actually Dharma. They have some notion of Dharma, but Srila Prabhupada was very expert in making that differentiation, the difference between what we call religion and dharma, because dharma is not simply some religion. So, earlier today, actually, I was discussing, he's not here right now, our Abhijit. We have Abhijit in Calcutta and we have Abhijit in South India. So he was asking a few questions about Varnashrama. And very important uh, is to engage in devotional service to the Lord. That is what is most natural for all of us, actually. We can we cannot be happy and satisfied unless we again revive our spiritual nature of rendering service to the Lord. Similarly, also, we cannot be happy, we cannot fulfill the objectives of life unless we learn to be uh, living what is also original and natural, uh, materially speaking. And for some reason, that is not so easily understood by most people, including somehow or other, that is not so easily understood by our own devotees. So that is one of the reasons why Krishna appears in that statement, that verse I was quoting, Paritaranaya sadhanam vinashaya sadiskitam dharma samstapanarthaya. So this whole topic of dharma, I always refer to what Narada Muni very elaborately explaining in the seventh canto of the Bhagavatam, because he very elaborately explains to Yudhishthira Maharaj the nature of dharma and how to understand about dharma, to deepen our understanding of dharma is meant to be our primary activity in life, isn't it? If we don't have dharma, if we don't live according to the principles of dharma, then that means that we have a very low consciousness. Dharma is meant to actually awaken our consciousness, elevate our consciousness, so that we can understand these two dimensions of dharma. And one of them being the the lifestyle that the inhabitants of Vrindavan are living, isn't it? And inasmuch as the spiritual the spiritual dimension of dharma is not so easy to understand. It's like Krishna also confirms in the Bhagavad Gita that, my dear Arjuna, this knowledge I am speaking to you, it is very, very mysterious knowledge, very deep knowledge, very confidential knowledge. Bhuyam, Naja Vidya Raja Bhuyam, very confidential. So spiritual knowledge is confidential and mysterious, and so is material knowledge. And of course, Prabhupada, he would explain that we are unable to understand both of these levels of knowledge if we become overly, let's say, materialistic, if we are overly preoccupied with so-called material well-being or material advancement, then we cannot understand what Krishna is teaching us, and we cannot understand what Krishna is showing us by his personal example. So, Prabhupada would often be making this point that unless we have individuals in society who are having such understanding, and that is especially meant to be the knowledge that both Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, because that knowledge of Kshatriyas, knowledge of Brahmanas is what actually gives shape and direction to society, isn't it? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada very much wanted that we, as he stated actually in the first of the seven purposes that he formulated, that we need to purposes of the ISKCON society is to systematically present this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, which is meant to be understood and which is meant to be uh, lived as well, isn't it? On these two levels, on the spiritual level and on the material level. And we should not misunderstand that when we speak on the material level that we are, what is it, encouraging people to become material, materialistic. Mm. Actually in the Bhagavatam and our various Vaishnava acharyas also sometimes comment, they, um, they give less importance to what is called dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But that needs to be understood properly. And dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, when it is materially motivated, right? Just like the very beginning of the Bhagavatam also, the second verse, dharma projito kaitava. Bhagavatam rejects materially motivated dharma, that kind of dharma. In the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna, sarva dharmam parityaja. This type of, anything that is materially motivated naturally should be rejected. But dharma, we know, is glorified in the Bhagavatam by the Lord Himself. Krishna especially teaches in in Vrindavan, which is unalloyed, unmotivated, uninterrupted Krishna. But that can best be done, that can best when we uh, live a more simplified lifestyle, and that simplified lifestyle is by the residents of Vrindavan. So in that sense, as devotees, we have this, we could say, double challenge. You have the challenge on the spiritual level, which we know is not at all easy, you know, to become uh, pure devotees, which is actually the goal for each and every one of us. Unless we become fully purified, we cannot leave this material world. So not only are we meant to become fully, uh, we could say, spiritualized, uh, but we are also meant uh, to understand what is the most ideal way of living, uh, which is a whole other science in itself. So it means that actually Krishna's Leela in Vrindavan is meant to teach us these two aspects, these two levels. And there's no other place, there's no other uh, lifestyle that is best exhibiting uh, these two dimensions of Dharma than in Vrindavan. So that's why Vrindavan, Krishna's um, appearing, Krishna's early life in Vrindavan is is very, very significant for all of us. And the more we are able to understand that, then we can more easily help to fulfill Krishna's mission and the mission of our acharyas. That is nicely explained how the perfection of life for a devotee, for a disciple, is actually to understand the mission of the Lord and to endeavor to execute that mission. Actually, I wanted to read something. I didn't get a chance to dig it out actually. Um, so a question comes to mind: how to get this particular message, how to get this message across. Of course, um, we know that it is especially by distributing this knowledge, just like now there is a ongoing, what is it? Um, every year it happens in the month of building up to what is called the next, what is the next Purnima?
Bhadra Purnima. Bhadra Purnima.
Yes, Bhadra Purnima, which is I think in the middle of next month. What is the special feature of Bhadra Purnima?
Distributing Bhagavatam. Enthroned on.
Huh?
Enthroned on. Enthroned on.
Control?
Enthroned.
Huh?
Enthroned.
Enthroned, what is that? Enthroned. Enthroned means?
Keeping the books on throne.
Keeping the books on the throne. Okay.
Bhagavatam.
Yeah, in the last few years, actually, devotees have been very active. The whole, especially has been taken up by one devotee in America. Some of you, I think, know him. What's his name? Vaisheshika Prabhu. Yes, he's in California, and devotees have been every year actually increasing the distribution, especially of sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, because actually the Bhagavatam is uh, giving us more in detail, more than the giving us a preliminary. But the Bhagavatam, within the Bhagavatam, of course, we have the whole Leela or pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan. So the question I was asking a few minutes ago is what is or what are the ways for making this point or bringing this kind of understanding to as many people as possible. So one is to distribute the Bhagavatam. One is to something we are meant to do on a regular basis is to hear from the Bhagavatam and to cultivate the knowledge of the Bhagavatam. What are other ways to actually get this message across? What is message?
To propagate the Varnashram again,
Yes,
bringing people back to village life.
bringing, yeah, uh, help people in general, uh, beginning with our own devotees, understand the importance of the whole dimension of dharma, varnashrama dharma, and which is directly connected with village life. Yes. So how to do that?
One of the most effective ways that I can understand is to create an example for people to see that how effective and how ideal if we can create some examples which by just looking they experience that oh this is how divine a devotional life can be in a village in a varnashram
Yes.
and this is how it solves so many of the problems
Yes.
then just by looking at it people will be extremely inspired to take up the the varnashram dharma and the village life
And how do we go about doing that?
by by being brave and taking up ourselves those things first.
Yes. Yeah, that point, that very point Srila Prabhupada was making actually, uh, he was, Srila Prabhupada was encouraging devotees to actually uh, take up this aspect in terms of creating communities and living uh, what Prabhupada coined as learning to live on the lap of material nature. Learning to live on the lap of material. What does that mean? Means not, huh?
To be grounded, meaning
Well,
to
yeah, literally grounded, as opposed to living in a high-rise apartment. Yeah, living on the lap of material nature means not being dependent on the whole artificial modern system, which is uh, which is taking us away, actually, in so many ways, from nature, from a more natural way of living. Yeah. Um, yes. So yeah, that point Srila Prabhupada was making. Uh, he was explaining, for example, how because in one particular conversation, devotees were telling, but we see that uh, urban living is like the the standard nowadays. Uh, more and more people are living in cities, and it doesn't. That was how the devotee was explaining it. It doesn't seem that cities are going to be um, disappearing so soon. So Prabhupada's response was that, okay, whether the cities are going to be here or not, of course Prabhupada did say that they will not be here indefinitely. We should still create what is meant to be the, as you mentioned, the, the example, the model. And we should work towards creating, ultimately creating Vrindavan, isn't it? Creating villages of Vrindavan. And Prabhupada's point was that the more we are able to actually recreate or revive what is meant to be what was, and in some places still is, we still have remnants of that, especially in India, then the more we are able to do this, people will be able to see, oh, these people, they can, um, they can live without so many so-called facilities of modern day society. Uh, for example, if someone is living in a village and his primary, that's how it is meant to be also, his primary activity or primary occupation is in the village, connected with land, with cows, then one doesn't need a car. Nowadays it's for most people unthinkable to live without a car. And and modern day society has been set up in such a way that actually you cannot live in that setup unless you do have a car. Because you have to go generally quite some distance to work. But that is most unnatural. And we, we have created such a very complicated network and system, which is forcing people actually to go to work, for which they need some kind of modes of transportation. And it's in so many ways very, very destructive. So Prabhupada was making the point, actually, if we live uh, in a village setting, then we don't, so many things we actually don't need, especially vehicles or cars. So, yes, that is the point that Prabhupada also was making, that if we uh, if we as devotees actually understand and become convinced that actually this is meant to be the more simple and natural way of living, then then we can actually begin uh, to create examples of this more natural lifestyle, and um, those who will see uh, such communities, those who will interact with those who are living this type of more natural lifestyle, then they will also be attracted. That was part of the strategy that Prabhupada was uh, formulating. Yeah. How much time is needed?
Already Boga finished.
The boga is finished. Already offered, huh? Yeah,
3 minutes, 4 minutes.
yeah. Yeah. So for this, on this occasion of Janmashtami festival, we should try to understand those important instructions given by Srila Prabhupada in terms of uh, this whole lifestyle that Krishna and Balaram and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan demonstrated by their personal example, and because that is very much uh, needed in modern day society, and we should um, make efforts. We should continue to make efforts, although it's in many ways very challenging uh, because of the whole modern setup and context in which we're living. But we should know that this is uh, a very essential and very integral part of uh, what is Krishna's mission in wanting to re-establish the principles of karma. So anyone have some thoughts on this?
First, it need to teach devotees who are who is go to office and doing business other not
First, we need to preach to devotees who are going to office.
yes yes other material work
Yeah, yeah, yes.
office and they doing business material work devotees.
We should not only zero in on those who are going to office, but yeah, we trees are going to, you know, nowadays factories are of a different nature. I mean, working many hours behind computers is a kind of factory work also, isn't it? Yeah, because it's like mechanical. You're doing the same thing. So we need to, yeah, we need to encourage devotees to read and not only read but study nicely Srila Prabhupada's books, where all of this is nicely presented, and if we do that, then yeah, more devotees will be able to understand.
Right. I feel that there are more to do with the modern, these four stages, then first Harinam Sankirtan, then temples, then congregation, and then village
Varnashram,
life.
yes.
But nowadays the temples are like very special entities, not maintained practically by grihastas living in congregation, but quite specially maintained. Like they ask donations for different rich persons. They have different methods to maintain temples, but not really, um, how to say, symbiotically with this program. So I see more reform need in the paradigm changing need, because we have to think all the program how to adjust together these four stages. Otherwise, they will stay separately and they will not help each other. Like village life would be very boring when you have no temple available nearby. And when you go to village, more difficult to get the temple without car, for example.
But
So, so the model should rethink how to inspire people to create temples or living. So that's need really more thinking. What do you think?
by definition and by nature, a village is incomplete without a temple. As a matter of fact, the center of a village, isn't it?
But what kind of temple?
What kind of temple?
Yeah,
Who's that temple?
because nowadays the temples are mostly in cities. 100 brahmacharis are living there. I don't think the village temples would be the same.
Well, the uh, the idea of a temple is meant to be that place where people congregate, isn't it?
Yeah.
And take their inspiration. Uh, and in a village situation, um, the temple is actually meant to be the life and soul of all the residents of that temple, because people in a Vedic village, are having the same understanding that you know we do everything for the pleasure of the Lord, and there's a very close knit type of uh, relationship that is established, that is meant to be established in the village by nature. Um, so, yeah, most of our devotees, most of our experience is in city temples, um, but generally we have to travel quite some distance to go to that temple. And very often, most devotees cannot go on a daily basis unless they're very close to the temple. Mostly people, they come on Sundays. But actually, in a village, a temple is meant to be like, is more, generally will be more accessible and more, more, more often, yeah, the devotees will generally uh,
It was more simple. Like in Vedic time, there was just one or two brahmanas was engaged full time, and everything else was made by congregation when they asked, okay, prepare for a festival, but
yeah, well,
daily that's just a brahmana did a puja and that's it.
um, but generally, yes, there were. I mean, temples are generally meant to be cared for by brahmanas, isn't it? Because others in the society are busy with their different activities. But then there are many cultural events, many religious festivals that bring people together on on a regular basis. Uh, so um, that's why we need uh, we need to we need to understand and study what is the Vedic model of village and how actually there's so many more when people are properly trained and when they understand then uh, village life will be much more uh, in so many ways actually much more conducive, will facilitate our practice of Krishna consciousness.
So there is a new model then. We are learning that one guru will decide in your life and you have to surrender to one guru who is really, spiritually strong and charismatic person. But now you have to accept different type of leaders like Vaishya leader, Kshatriya leader, Brahman leader, who not necessarily, they are not necessarily spiritually strong.
You mean like in a village somebody has to accept the leader of the village?
Yeah, the leader of the village, the the leader of the workplace like that. Not easy. Anyway,
Well, that's why creating a Vedic villages were uh, made up of individuals who were having common understanding and therefore a leader in the village was also religious. I mean, the Vedic leaders or Vedic kings, they are meant especially to do things based on the principles of dharma. One of their primary responsibilities is to uphold and to protect dharma, isn't it? In different ways. Other two is ready? Yeah, okay.
okay.
Okay, so we can close here. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Shri Janmashtami Festival ki Jai.
जय जगन्नाथ भक्ति रघुवर स्वामी महाराज की
Jai. You will have other two? Yes. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan,
Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Vishupad Paramahamsa, Radha Sagastot, Sri Srimad Divine Grace. Chale boy, Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Sri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Gandhi ki Foundation ki
Jai.
Namacharya Sri Lahiri Thakur ki
Jai.
Prince Bahoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shanakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki
Jai.
Sri Vrindavan Dham ki
Jai.
Sri Dwarka Dham ki
Jai.
Sri Jagannathpuri Dham ki
Jai.
Sri Navadip Mayapur Dham ki
Jai.
Sri Mayapur Chandraday Mandir ki
Jai.
Ganga Mayi Jumanmay ki
Jai.
Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki
Jai.
Hari Nam Sankirtan ki
Jai.
Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki
Jai.
Swam Senator Distribution ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Sri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Krishna Balaram ki
Jai.
Sri Guru Govardhan ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Sri Radha Madhava ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav ki
Jai.
Jai Jai Gaur
Hari Hari Bol,
Glories to be assembled with you.
Hare Krishna,
All glories to be assembled with you.
Hare Krishna,
All glories to be assembled with you.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Gauranga.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
we want to thank